Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. So tonight, I'm going to actually be talking to two professional women out of St. Louis, Missouri, who are the definition of the word go-getter. All right, they were doing some wholesaling previously. Then they heard about what the GoGetter family offers and how to become the bank. They ended up getting my course, and a week and a half later, they had a property where they had control of that property. They got a hold of me. I started helping them, and a week and a half after that, we had a free house, guys. No credit checks and no lump sums of money needed. We got it by becoming the bank. So tonight, I'm going to be interviewing these ladies and just going through their journey so you guys can hear it from real people who have actually done it. So, guys, thanks for joining me. And if we provide you some value, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no quitters. Knock it out the park. We for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere. That's a dome splitter. Yeah. We control our own destiny. Make moves. Cultivate whole legacy. Creative finance. Bring more ecstasy. The right ingredients. Now that's a dope recipe.
Okay, so guys, I want to introduce you to Anita Thomas and Sheila Moreland out of St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, these are turning out to be some of my favorite people right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. So these ladies, I respect them. I have seen them in action because we've worked hand in hand. And my grandma always used to tell me, a person will tell you anything, but they will show you everything. And these ladies, they have shown it. So I had to bring them on the show so that you guys could hear their story. And then also, I like to do a live Q&A after we kind of do our interview. So you guys will be able to ask me questions and ask them questions as well. So let's start with Anita. Go ahead and introduce yourself to us, Anita. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, my name is Anita. I'm out of St. Louis, Missouri, as Jean already mentioned. Really didn't have much of a background in real estate, but I always had a love for it. My mom was a broker, so I've been around houses all of my life, but I am a retired cosmetologist for 25 years now. And needing to do something else, I dove off into real estate. Didn't know what branch or how I would get off into it. Started out with wholesaling and moved straight into subject twos. And so here I am today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Sheila, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Sheila Moreland. I am also born and raised St. Louis, Missouri, but right now I live in Washington, maybe about 20, 30 minutes from Seattle, Washington. I did the big move after all of my children grew up and are grown and just started something different. I am a insurance broker, been insurance broker for almost 30 years now. Just wanted to do something different. So I got off into, I have a degree in interior design and I always kind of dabbled, but never went full-fledged into the real estate or anything that pertained to real estate, just kind of stayed on the easy side. But I got interested in wholesaling and seeing what I can do to fix and flip. Got to talking to Anita, who was like, you know what, let's give it a shot. We've been at it for a little while now. And at this point, I'm happy we did it because, we're learning a lot more now with Jean moving into subject two. The sky's the limit at this point because we see what we can do now. We see what we really can, do us outside of just wholesaling and things of that nature. So that's where we are.
Love that. I love that. That you pointed out right there that you see what you can do. Like you see it. A lot of people that I talk to, some of them, they have limiting beliefs and they're like, well, can you really do that? Can you buy a house without going through the bank or taking over debt? And do the things that we do. So you guys seeing it firsthand and coming in from wholesaling to this, I mean, it just shows everybody that it is possible. So we'll dive into that later, but I wanted to kind of touch base with you guys because I love the duo. I do. I don't know. I know I had mentioned it to you guys. Patrick Bet David, he's an entrepreneur and he's super smart. He coaches CEOs and he says that we need a running mate, right? You got to have, like Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, John Stockton had Karl Malone, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. Well, Anita and Sheila right there. in the St. Louis and the Washington market. So talk to me a little bit just about your guys's your relationship, I guess, and kind of how you go about business, just generally as entrepreneurs.
Well, I'm gonna start because I got something I need to say. Just kidding. Well, basically, how we met a few years ago was in the insurance industry. Anita came into the organization that I was in, and she was burning it up. I'm like, okay, I was watching her. She didn't know I was watching her, and some things had started happening, and she was just going and going and going. So I just kind of pulled her coattail and said, "Hey, come listen to OG." And initially she was like, "I got this," but it was some things that happened that I kind of educated her on. She was like, okay. So we just really clicked at that point, and we kind of knew, we saw balance. Some of the things that I knew how to do, she was like, you know what, I need to pick your brain. But then just knowing her being so new in that industry, she was showing me some things, and I'm like, okay. So we just kind of linked, and it's been that, we've been, the same way the whole time. She balances me, I balance her. Where I fall short, she picks up. Where she falls short, I pick up. So that's pretty much how we met. And when we decided to go into business together, I don't think we made a mistake at all, because we've been winning ever since.
Absolutely. It's like the yin and yang in business. Me and Sheila just took off. Our bond is so close, and where I'm weak, she's strong, and vice versa. When you say a balance and a running mate, I could not have met a better running mate in business.
And what's crazy to me is, now I didn't know that y'all just met a few years ago. I could have swore y'all knew each other since you was little kids.
It's been just a four,
just
maybe
2018.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love that. I do, because this business and just being an entrepreneur in general, it is about relationships. It's about relationships, meeting new people, networking. So like I said, I thought that y'all had known each other your whole lives, but here it is, known each other 4 years. And that's how it came off to me, because you guys do pick up for each other, right? You're just a good match, and you trust each other implicitly. And neither one of you have ever said that to me. You have shown me that. So I love that. I respect that. But also I respect how Sheila said you guys were working together. Anita came in, she was new, she was doing some things, and Sheila pulled her coattail and said, hey, let me chat with you. At first Anita was like, I can handle this. I've been doing, my thing since I was, 2 years old, pretty much. But it wasn't a competition. Right when Sheila pulled up on her, it was I think I can add something to what you're doing, because I see it. So talk to me about that mindset in you, Sheila, because I didn't know how y'all had met like that. So can you talk to me about that a little bit?
I've been in the industry, I'm in for so long that it is, by nature, it has become one of those things where I constantly teach. Like right now, I still in that industry, I still do train regional vice presidents in that industry. So, okay. A lot of people look at me like the knowledge hog, and because I've been doing it for so long, I know the ins, the outs, the ups and downs about, that industry. So for me, just making sure that, and I think this is where Anita and I ended up clicking, is because I'm one of those type of people. I need to know that you get it. I'm not going to just throw a book in your face or give you something to say, run with it. I need to know that you get it. And she's pretty much the same way, because when we met, I had, like I said, I pulled her coattail, but she was just hitting that cusp where she was kind of like, wait a minute, it's some stuff that I didn't get. So when she saw that I was saying, hey, let me give you this, she grabbed and was like, tell me everything you know. And she's been the same way ever since. Tell me everything you know. And I know that she's doing that to you, like, Jean, tell me everything you know.
Everything
so she's been that way.
Yes, she is.
No stone unturned, and once you tell me and show me once, you never have to tell me and show me again. Once you put it in front of me, it's on and cracking, and I'm running with that thing.
Yeah, I love that too. Like you just said, you leave no stone unturned, right? And if you're trying to be good at something, right, you're trying to excel at it, that's the way you got to go about it,
Absolutely.
That's one of the many things, you know, that I love about y'all. So Anita, you said that your parents were brokers. They were in real estate, but
Yeah,
you
mom
just
was.
your mother was okay. Your mother was in real estate, and you just recently got into real estate, starting off in the wholesaling, and then you met us, me and Coach Ivan, and here we are with this. So talk to me, kind of, I guess, about what kind of took you so long, and then what made you say, you know what, it's time.
I'm gonna be honest with you. What really took me so long is because I always associated real estate with having to go back to school. And I'm straight from high school to cosmetology, and I did eventually go get my bachelor's degree. And after I got my bachelor's degree, I was like, anything that's involved in school, I wasn't gonna do anymore. I was done with school. You get what I'm saying? And Sheila is the one who brought this business opportunity to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a natural born hustler. I'm the type of person, if you say all you got to do is this and this to get that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's legal, I'm on
Right.
it. You get what I'm
That's
saying?
what I said. And she was like, okay.
So, you know, I mean, life is about taking chances. You can't have anything if you don't take a chance. And the best person to take a chance on is yourself. You get what I'm saying? And so that kind of just opened up to me. I've always had a love, like Sheila has her degree in interior decorating. Oh, but that's always been a love of mine. I'm great at it, and people actually call on me to help in that area. So we share a lot of similarities. So when I
We're both
decided to get off into this,
cosmetologists.
yes, both cosmetologists, both insurance, both love to do interior design. So we have a lot of commonalities, you know. This here wholesale and turning over to subject tools just happens to be the same. And I ran across a bit of a video back in December about subject to it, and I started noticing the margin and possible profit. And that's what I brought to Sheila. I was like, hey, these pre-foreclosures is where it's at, you know. And boom, here it comes on, I think, IG, a video of Gene Boykin pops up. I'm all like, hey, it can't hurt to hear what they got to say. You get what I'm saying? Sheila didn't even know I had made the appointment. I was like, hey, I made the appointment. You got to get on at such and such time. And that's just what it was.
That's how she did it. She's like, I made an appointment. We got to get on. I'm like, what? And so if you remember, Gene, when I got on, I was like, what are we talking about here? She's like, get on. I'm like, okay.
I did kind of notice that. I just thought it was a long day. It had been a long day or something. You know, we all moving and shaking. So now we're finding out what really transpired. That's what I love about it, though. That's why I love doing these interviews, because you know, you ladies are regular, hardworking ladies that have excelled, in my opinion, and have. I told Anita this the other day, you know, and when I say this, I mean this with the utmost respect. I said, Anita, you twisted my arm and made me partner with y'all. And when I say that, I mean off of her actions. I was like, there ain't no way that I'm not getting involved with this, just based off of how it had went, you know, to that point. Because when I met you guys, you know, we had a pretty long conversation, and I noticed that you had got my course maybe the next day or even later that day, and then I hear from you, not even a few days later, about appointment was already set up. So that told me right there. This is why I say, you know, that people will tell you anything, but they'll show you everything, you know, they will. So talk to me a little bit though about, because we are all, like I said, regular everyday people, right? I don't come from money. I worked hard. I made plenty of mistakes. I mean, Lord knows I made plenty of mistakes. And then I finally had got to the mindset of these so-called failures and these hard times, man. Like the times where you're like, damn, I'm a good person. Why do I deserve this right now? I do right by people. Why is this happening to me right now? I finally understood that we are given those difficult times as a gift, you know, to shape us and prepare us for those larger gifts that we have in store, to make sure that we can handle those things, you know. And once I understood that, I mean, you know, here we are, and this is an unexpected rise just for myself. So talk to me about your wholesaling journey up to the point kind of when we met.
Okay. Well, we kind of jumped off into wholesaling, got a couple of things under our belt, thought we were doing well. And then we partnered with a coach who will remain nameless. And what we quickly realized was the coach was giving us instruction that wasn't meeting the need, that we were looking for, and had not measured up to kind of some of the work that we had done on our own. So after following the coach's instructions, we ended up having to cancel 6 contracts over a period of time. And Nita and I just kind of discussed and was like, you know what? Something's not going right. We were doing okay, and then we started doing this, and things started looking different. So right in that same cusp of time, Anita came across you, because we were both kind of researching, trying to see, and we have been looking, YouTube University will teach you all kinds of things. So we're learning so much stuff on YouTube, and we're comparing notes, and we're doing stuff that we're learning, and we were doing okay until we decided let's see if we about doing this, I guess, the more structured way, right, Anita? So we started figuring we're gonna do this more structured way. Well, the more structured way turned into canceling, and we were acquiring getting the properties, getting them under contract, doing what we're supposed to do. But then it started turning into the instruction causing us to have to cancel these contracts. So we knew we had already been doing okay. So it's like, no, this doesn't look right. Right. And right at that same time, Anita found you. So
tell me about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell me about that from your perspective, Anita.
She pretty much laid it on the line. But the biggest issue was, it wasn't just the mentorship that we had. The biggest issue was trying to wholesale properties that were listed on the MLS. That was the issue. You cannot wholesale properties on the MLS. There is not enough margin to make money wholesaling properties on the MLS. And the mentorship we had, we were misled in that way. Because getting out, doing the work, contracting the properties, even being able to present the properties with buyers and finding buyers to show it to, that wasn't the issue. The issue was there was not enough margin for us to make money as viable wholesalers, and for a buyer to profit the way they needed to profit as well in the end. That was the problem.
So I like to dig a little deeper for my viewers, and guys, for the people that are just joining us, because I see the viewers have climbed a bit since we began. This is Anita Thomas and Sheila Moreland. They were into wholesaling a bit, and they found me and the GoGetter Family, and they got their first subject to property in a matter of 3 weeks now. So from the time that they found that thing now, and they just got the course, y'all. So
has it been 3 weeks?
I don't even know if it has. I'm just kind of throwing that out.
Just barely.
Just barely. It's like a blur, man. We've been going, all 3 of us, because we all got different things going on too. Besides this, so people need to understand that it doesn't just fall into your lap. It doesn't. You got to go out and you got to get it. That's why I love the GoGetter Family. Are you a damn go-getter, or are you going to sit on your hands and wait for something to fall out of the sky and hit you in the head? Because it usually is not going to happen. If it does, if something hits you in the head and falls out the sky, it ain't something good, right? So guys, don't forget to hit that like button to get us in that algorithm, man, because I want people like my viewers to see these ladies' story, man. This is real shit, man. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it, none. This is real life, like straight up. So I want to kind of dig deeper a little bit though into this one piece. When you guys were contracting properties on the MLS, did that to try to wholesale them? Did that feel right to you? I'm trying to figure that part out. Like, what made you continue to do it and not kind of go a different direction in terms of just the lead generation?
Well, I think for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we would get a property under contract, we'd be like, we won the bid. You get what I'm saying? So that felt good.
Okay.
That felt like we got the property now. All we got to do is move forward with this thing. You get what I'm saying? So if I have to be honest, it felt good, because don't we all want to win? Isn't that why we're here to win? So when you win something, that feels absolutely awesome. And so now you're figuring like, okay, wow, okay, we figure out first, second, maybe third property. Okay, we contracted that a little high. Okay,
Mhm.
fine. So now when we move into the other few contracts that we had to cancel, we worked those numbers on that thing. And it was priced low, especially with the market that we're in right now. We looked
Mhm.
at it as it was priced low, but it still wasn't low enough because
Right.
these sellers, they want top dollar right now for a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
Be all like, are
Yep.
you kidding me? This
Yeah.
thing niggas everything from the renter to the tutor, and you want what for it? You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the market that we're in right now. And
Mhm.
yeah, so yeah, it felt awesome. It felt absolutely awesome to win a bid, if I have to be
Mhm.
honest.
So
Yeah.
the one thing to add for me is the hardest. Well, the hardest part is the unknown. You're doing okay. You do some things, and you know, once you see the money, you're kind of like, okay, we're doing great. We're doing great, and then you start getting the instructions to do this, and
Mhm.
we kept questioning, well, why can't we do this way? No, do this, do this, do this. I'm not going to
Mhm.
say it in detail, but
Right.
that one little bitty thing, and we both knew it, that one little bitty thing was
Mhm.
the problem. And just so happened, like I said, Nita ran into you right when we both discovered, you know what, we're not doing that anymore, which was we're not getting not one more property that's listed on market, because we
Right.
had buyers that on those properties that we did find that were on market that were saying, y'all asking for too much, and we're looking like, well, everything else has been working, so what do you mean? But instead of our instructor telling us it's the on market deals that's the
Mhm.
problem, they were saying, oh, those deals are great, you guys are doing great. They, you know, just, and we were like, okay, something's not right. And just so happened right at that same time,
Mhm.
Anita found you. I'm thinking to myself, Anita and I had just decided we're not doing this anymore. She
Mhm.
finds you, we get on this call with you. I'm looking at her like,
Again, like, you serious?
and when we got off the call, she had to bring me down, and she's like, we're going to give it a chance because it's not wholesaling. So I looked at a
Mhm.
couple of your videos and I said, okay, he's talking something totally different. So
Mhm.
let's see how this rolls together. And it kind of mimics, you
Mhm.
know, if you look at it that way, it'll mimic, you know, what we did, and in a
Mhm.
different form, knowing that you
Mhm.
can take that route, that one thing, that one little thing.
Mhm.
Don't do a on market deal. Don't, you know, so that one little thing is huge.
It really
Man,
is.
yes. Yeah, huge. Like, I mean, in life, to be great at something, at many things, just to be okay in life in general, we've got to make these small 2 millimeter shifts, just the
Absolutely.
smallest. This is what I tell my students too. The smallest detail, I mean, is monumental. It really is. And it was something as simple as that, from you guys just not knowing, right? And then it got to a point though where you're feeling it, because real estate investing, it is a game of adrenaline, right? And competition. So like you said, Anita, like you guys would win that bid and you like, hell yeah, we off to the races. Now we got this part done. So now we're gonna go do this part, right? And you just didn't know. And then after, so many times you do start to get that feeling like, all right,
Yeah, you get a
something.
light bulb like, wait a minute, we're so
Mm-hmm.
close, but yet we're so far. It's just this one piece that's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like Sheila said, right before I encountered you, we knew
Mm-hmm.
that properties listed on the MLS was a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
If my students ever tell me they was on Zillow or MLS looking at properties listed by a realtor, we're gonna wrestle. Yes, I'm flying to you wherever y'all at. If you watching, we gonna wrestle. So yeah, got to, because we want no competition leads. We want no competition deals, and there are plenty plenty of houses out there when you know where to look, when you know how to look, and when you set yourself apart, and you kind of, I always say, like, you got to know the essence of this thing, know the spirit of it, and really truly be looking to help a person, and you will absolutely get a deal. A deal is the result of being that way. So and another thing is, right, I didn't invent real estate investing. I didn't invent subject to. I didn't invent creative financing. You know what I mean? So, we all come into life with our experiences, and it's just creative intelligence is what it is. So I've read about subject to, I've read about creative financing. I was doing traditional fix and flips for 3 years, some all that. And then I kind of put my own spin on it for the 7 steps to becoming the bank. And, a lot of this stuff, real estate investing, it is kind of similar, but now the GoGetter family, we definitely different than everybody else. So I kind of want to talk about the houses that y'all had got under contract when you was wholesaling versus when you started using the GoGetter family's process to becoming the bank, looking at the numbers and the house that we do have under contract. Talk to me about that difference, I guess, and the opportunities that you see in terms of the exit strategy now versus the exit strategy before when you had those houses under wholesale contract.
Well, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
go ahead, Anita. Go ahead, Anita. I'll get to you.
I'm gonna tell you the best thing about then versus now. We put this much money down for Earnest Money.
Ooh,
this much money down for Earnest Money on this property. The second best thing that I can tell you is that contracting a property that's not listed on the MLS does not take a real estate agent. So guess who doesn't have to pay a 3% to somebody? We don't.
Hey,
you get what I'm saying? So those are the 2 first things out the gate that stick out. Because if you're coming into this business, most people are coming in with little to no money. So can you imagine saying, okay, I'm going to put this house under contract and you have this much money that you have to come out of your pocket with? This much money?
That much. I remember when when I hopped on that call with y'all and you told me about the 6 contracts. And my first question was, how much EMD did you lose? Earnest money deposit. That was my first question, if y'all remember. And I hope that showed Sheila that I knew what the hell I was talking about when I asked that question out the gate. But Sheila, what's your take on that, though?
It did because I said, can I say it? I said we lost $20,000. Our first loss was $1,000, and if anybody's listening and wanting to know, the first $1,000 was because we were working with listed properties with an agent who went quickly and said, "Oh, we're going to put up $1,000," because she was thinking of herself. She was thinking of her commission. She was thinking of how she was going to look instead of, and she wasn't familiar with wholesaling. So that was a loss that we took. And the difference between then and now for me, of course, the Earnest Money, but to be able to go in and start helping finding the property and getting the homeowner is a little different, because with wholesale, we don't necessarily have to be working directly with the homeowner the way we are now. So finding the homeowners and tracking them down and what may be going on with them now, that's a little different. But Anita and I would say, as mothers now, we're moving more into, we're going to nurture these people into working with us now. So we're finding all kinds of ways now to get in touch with these people, going by the house, knocking. Like I was telling you today, we're here in Seattle now. This is going to be our first property in Seattle. So we've got 2, and I was at the house today, putting flyers on the door, knocking on the door, and a lot of people may be afraid of door knocking, but this is a totally different kind of ball game, because you're looking at someone who is attached and they don't want to let go, and it's foreclosed property. So the difference between then and now for me is we do have to get a little bit more involved, but we're not getting involved with something where the buyer is like, that's a piece of crap, as opposed to
we have to be more compassionate, because we are there to solve a problem. And so once we figure out,
I think if you look at it that way, I think if you look at it that way now, it'll be easier.
Absolutely. And it takes compassion, because you have to understand these people are about to lose it all. And some of these people have been in their houses upwards 10 or 15 years, 20, 30 years or more. They've raised their families in these homes. You get what I'm saying? And so you want to be sure to be compassionate, to be understanding, and to be patient.
Yeah.
because a lot of them are at their wits' ends right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so to have somebody that can come in and at a time when they're about to lose it all, to not only be able to save their credit, but to be able to put a little bit of money in their pockets so that they can make their next move a good move for themselves and their family, that's huge to be able to help people, especially at a time where they've lifted this mandate and these foreclosures are prevalent everywhere.
Yeah.
They're looking for us. They're
Yes.
praying that somebody knocks on their door with an answer. We've got to be that answer.
Yes. Yes. And
One of the
go ahead, Sheila. Go ahead.
One of the things we both learn and we laugh about pretty much daily is bringing so much of what we did in our previous profession into this profession, you know, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's one of the things that we're really seeing all over again. And then, you know, like being in the insurance industry, you know, we are very it's very hard for us to understand why we need insurance and things of that nature. But when you go into these homes with these people who are losing their homes and things of that nature, when they see that your intentions are truly to help them through this process, they'll calm down and listen. So that's the good part about it. As long as you can get them, you know, get with them and talk to them, we're starting to realize that it could probably be a really win-win for us both.
Yes, absolutely. Win-win for everybody involved. I always say, like, I don't like the win-win term, but it really is. You know, it's a win for the seller because they were going to get nothing. And this is just with foreclosures for the viewers. Now, we have a lot of other motivations that we do, but this is what I'm an expert at is foreclosures, this particular motivation. But it's a win for the seller. It's a win for the bank if you're reinstating that loan. Right. And then it's a win for whoever buys that house, whether you put a new family in it or if it's an investor who's going to fix that house back up, update it, bring it to life and, you know, provide more affordable home for the community. And I mean, and then the title companies win because everybody's, you know, making a little bit of money off of it. And best of all, us and our families win. But all of that is a side effect of how we go into this with how can I help this person at the front of our mind, rather than how much money can I make. And absolutely. I believe that's a huge difference with wholesaling versus what we do, because wholesaling, that's what it is. Like, how much money can I make? Let me crunch these numbers. Let me do the 70-30 ratio minus the repair cost. And then I can put it on the market for this much. Nope. We ain't said, I don't even think I done crunched a number with y'all yet. I mean,
we've been doing all of our own numbers, but
I mean, but because I know that the deal is sweet. I told y'all the other day, like, if y'all remember that movie, Juice, y'all got the juice now, you know, you got the house. And with this house, there are just so many options. But I tell my people in a negotiation, right, especially with what we do, we are not on separate sides of the table trying to see how cheap we can get this thing for so that we can raise our profit margin. And then they're on the other side saying, okay, now how much can I charge to put some more money in my pocket? No, we need to show them that we're on the same side of the table as them to get to the same finish line. And then when we can do that, they'll let us do anything with this house. So it kind of is an art. So Anita, the first time that we talked, after you guys had that information release and the limited power of attorney signed or getting ready to be signed, we talked about what you had said and you called her and you used the GoGetter Family script. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that went?
It went really well. So a lot of times what you'll find is you'll be in the midst of going through some of the points that are in the script. And you'll notice that you may have to be quiet so that they can answer.
Yes.
Or sometimes you can say something and you can pose it. It could be a statement, but you can kind of pose it in a question and just be quiet. Because they're ready to tell you everything that you thought you wanted to know and some stuff you probably didn't even want to know. They're ready to lay it on the line to you. Give a person a chance to tell you their story. And I'm telling you, and at the end, you're like, you know, thanks so much for sharing that with me. You get what I'm saying? And then you can pose another question. So that's what I did. I used parts of the script coupled with what I've already honed and owned on my own. And went for it.
Absolutely. That's why you were able to get it done so quickly, because of the talent, experience, and knowledge that you bring into the situation. Right. I mean, I mentioned that earlier, that we bring our experiences in, and it's creative intelligence. So those scripts, I don't really like to call them scripts. They're more of frameworks. right? To
Yes.
keep us, to keep us on that subject. But then also, we can't just, I want the viewers to know, you're not going to be able to just go in there and say, hey, I know you're in foreclosure. How did you fall behind? No, there's an artistry. That's why those scripts are so important, because we go about it differently. And then, like Anita said, there was parts where in that script, she might not have been able to finish that spot. She could feel it.
Yeah.
And she needed to go ahead and, okay, they're about to say something. Let me just stop and be quiet. Or there was some stuff in the script where she was like, okay, I'm not going to use that because I know based off of my experience from this interaction with this person that I need to ask this question or pose a question this way. So that's what it's about, guys. That's what the training is about. So you guys bringing that in. One of my mentors, who is younger than me, a lot younger than me, he told me, he says, truth is universal. Truth is universal. So like Sheila was saying earlier, how you brought the experiences from your other profession, how that was so similar to what we're doing here. That's because truth is universal, and we're just solving these problems. We're just solving these problems. So tell me, how it was dealing with this bank, because not only did they put that much down earnest money, but how much did we acquire this house for? And how was it dealing with the bank? Go ahead, Anita. I'll let you go first.
Anita got to explain that part because she's right.
Well, we acquired the house for $2,500 flat out. You get what I'm saying?
Is that going to come out of your pocket, though? Is that going to come out of your pocket?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No,
all right.
Not a dime.
2,500.
2,500. And dealing with the bank, oh my gosh, it was almost a headache. But see, it didn't really pose as much of a headache for me because I don't have any emotional attachment to this property. So for me to call you 5-6 times a day, I'm gonna get on your nerves before you get on mine. Because you have the capability to give me exactly what I need so that myself, my family, my business partner, and the seller can all win. You have the capability of that. And when I tell you that this house was about to foreclose, and what we were up against
down
on
to the day
of foreclosure,
the auction.
They stopped this.
Day of auction.
Yeah,
the day of auction.
auction. They stopped this auction on this house, guys. They stopped this auction. But if I had not stayed persistent and consistent, these people would have lost their home.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So it's 100%. Just the persistency and the consistency. I contacted them so much that there was even process that they said would take 30 plus days, took less than 72 hours to complete. These people have the power to do whatever it is that they want to do. Whatever they want to do, they can do it. Like I told Sheila, if this had been their mother, it'd have been taken care of already. Absolutely. Because they have the power to do it. And got it done. But coupled with some compassion and me just like, hey guys, this is what we need, and blah 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 blah, and my consistency and persistency, it got done.
And you weren't going in there making demands. Oh, the law says you got to do this, and the thing says you have to. No, that's not how we approach this, right? So I was involved in this, but most of the credit goes to these ladies. I just gave some little nuggets here and there to help them along the way in terms of what to ask the bank, what to ask them, to get in order to kind of stop this foreclosure. But Anita was, man, she reminded me of me when I stopped the one that was 6 days from happening. The lady told me, it's going to be 3 to 5 days for the reinstatement, and I was like, yeah, all right. As soon as I hung up with her, I'm on my way to the seller's house, calling back. Like we don't sit on our hands. You don't sit on your hands to get this done. And Sheila was remote doing this because Sheila's in Washington State, but she was playing her part too. So I want to talk to you guys though, because I put a couple of videos on TikTok. That's where most of my followers are. And I told them to go. I told people about a wholesale type of deal with red tags, and they got to go down to the county clerks to get some information. But I always tell everybody this, that these people down there at the county office, they can and will be obstructionists. They will try to obstruct you from getting what you want, and it is our right to have these things. So, can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because I remember that phone call when you had called me, and we couldn't get that. You couldn't get that legal description from the clerk of courts, and at that moment, you sounded a little deflated. But we got creative, and I kind of, sent you another direction. And Sheila texted me like, "Hey, we got the email of the legal description." But talk to me about that, kind of dealing with them, because we're gonna have to deal with the clerk of courts, the recorder's office, all of that stuff when we're doing this. So talk to me about that.
Guys, I'm gonna tell you like this: they're gonna try to deter you left and right. What I couldn't understand, and I talked to Sheila, I said, "How is it that they're gonna sell this house? They're gonna auction this house on the court
Don't
step,
know anything about it.
but you don't know anything about it. It
Don't
just
know
shows
anything
up.
about it.
That's just not possible." And so Gene gave us some information about the Freedom of Information Act. And it's a form that you can pull up on Google and fill it out. Google. You have to share this information with me. You would be surprised. I had gone back to the county clerks. It took me 2 or 3 visits before I finally was able to come in contact with somebody who was willing to make the calls throughout the building. And she ended up finding somebody who had a clue about what I was talking about. Where everybody else said, "Oh no, we don't have it. It's not here. We don't.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that." And then I get a call saying, "Oh, guys, just give me the address or give me the case number and let's see what we can find." From we don't have it to a whole person who understood what I was talking about. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you're definitely going to come into roadblocks because their job is their job. I mean, people do. I tell you like this: when people clock in, they do just enough work not to get fired. You get what I'm saying? Just enough work not to get fired. Right. And so a lot of times they're not going to push and hone in for you to win. They're not. But there's ways and there are laws and there are rules in place for all of us to win. And the Freedom of Information Act form is one of them.
Yeah. Can I just say this too, just to kind of make sure people understand what happens when you're trying to get through to these clerks' offices and things of that nature. I was on the phone, Gene, if you can remember, I was on the phone. I was trying to find a form where the paper where the young lady, the people that I was calling now Anita's on foot. She's out there. And I'm on the phone calling the same building, the same clerk's offices and stuff where she's in the building. So I know it was 30, 40 numbers in that day. I'm calling, constantly getting transferred here, transferred there. And some of the same offices that I had called and they didn't know. I was like, Nita was like, "Well, I'm gonna go." I'm like, "Nita, go to this office and go." She just told me here in this office that such and such, whatever it was. But Nita was running from office to office to office in this building. So it's not that it's difficult. It's just that persistency to keep moving and not only just make a phone call and say, "Well, they said," because I think if Anita and I hadn't been here constantly, because Anita was like,
it's
frustrated with people because you just told me XYZ and I'm in this building and you're saying XYZ and I'm on the phone with these same people. But if it had not been for her continuously going to, I want to say, what was it? 4 or 5 days straight. I know 4 or 5 trips a day. She was there downtown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here. I said it a couple of times. I'm at a point where I just want to pull all my hair out, not because it was difficult, but because I know I'm calling the same people. And she's walking into the offices with these people who had said on the phone, "Oh, well, we don't do that. We don't handle that. That's not this office," and that kind of stuff. But then turn out it is that office. You find that someone, like she found that someone who stayed a little late from her lunch break to get something out of her purse. And she's like, "I'll do it."
Wow.
That kind of thing.
I didn't even know that that's how that went down with the lady stayed a little late to get something out of her purse now, because y'all, man, I'm telling you now, I believe in God. I got my homie shirt on Triple F Dream, faith over fear. And I always say this in a lot of my videos that fear, it is a made up thought in our minds. It does not exist because it's something in the future that we think if we do something wrong, this will happen. If we miss this step, this is going to happen. But faith, that is made up too, right? And we can choose either one. And I always choose faith, but I choose it based off my commitment, my hard work, and my persistence, because the kryptonite to any obstacle is persistence. If you just keep getting back up, that obstacle is going to give up. Like, man, Anita won't stay at home and take no for an answer. I'm going to leave Anita alone.
Tell him about the last little incident where the appointment date got changed and we panicked. We panicked.
So we didn't tell Eugene, right? So, you know, I had an appointment with the recorder of deeds just this past Tuesday. And I know I made this appointment for the 22nd of February at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Because here in St. Louis, Missouri, you have to have an appointment, and they're only taking appointments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I said, well, let me pull up because I want to make sure that I got the right appointment time. I don't want to miss this appointment, right? I'm like, oh my God. And I look at it, and it says March the 22nd on a Tuesday at 12 o'clock. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Whoa.
No. And I was like, oh, I'm just sick to my stomach. She was like, no. She was like, you're going to go, and you're going to get in, you're going to get it done. And so I go in, I park or whatever, and I'm getting my paperwork out the car because I'm getting ready to just go into this building. And I'm going to tell you this little part too. There was a lady out there that was asking for some money for something to eat. I was like, well, I don't know, baby. I don't know. And then I was on the phone with Sheila. And as I'm getting my stuff out the car, and I told Sheila, I said, I'm going to give this lady this money because it's just something on me, you know, the spirit of discernment telling me, hey, bless this lady. So I gave it to her, and I went on into the building to handle my business. And so I walk up, and I'm next in line. She's like, can I help you? I'm like, oh yeah, I have a 12 o'clock appointment with the recorder of the deeds. I'm not telling her that I scheduled it wrong. And she was like, that's what I said. To window 8. I was all like, I'm in. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get in, and I go to window 8, and she was like, well, we're just about to go to lunch. It was like 11:59 or something like that. We're just about to go to lunch. And oh my God. And so the lady who was supposed to have been gone to lunch, she wasn't even up there at first. This was a different lady. And she came back, and she was like, well, we about to go. And she had already shut her system down, the whole kit and caboodle. Do you know that lady booted her system back up, and they got that information recorded, and it got done in nanoseconds?
Yeah, that's all it takes. That's all it takes.
When you do right by people, it comes back to you.
1,000,000%.
It comes back just like that.
And then you're gonna have those obstacles too, because I know she scheduled that appointment for February 22nd. She went in there the night before, and we were on the phone, and she's like, well, I'm going to make sure the appointment, She's like, Sheila, it's not here. It's changed. You know, I'm like, no, ma'am. You're going to go, and you're going to tell them you got that appointment, and we're going to act like nothing. Don't mention March 22nd. And, I mean, look what happened. You know, because some people would have given up. It's just those little bitty things. You got to keep, I guess the key, you know, in my mind through this whole thing is, you just keep going and keep moving. Don't let all of it. Oh, it's going to take 30 days. No, I'm going to keep calling and find somebody that's going to take 2 days. I'm going to keep, you know, like I'm telling you, I couldn't stay on the phone enough. And I know she was out there like, because we stay on the phone the whole time while she's driving, while she out there. If I'm not on the phone calling somebody else, I'm encouraging her because she, you know, we'll flip out in a minute. Like, so. I think a partnership, a team is like, you know, we kept saying we can't wait. You had mentioned a couple of times, Gene, the acquisition team. So Anita and I have got this little running joke right now. The acquisition team. All right. So we're calling it.
We're speaking that into existence
at this point.
I mean, y'all stay on it at this rate. I told you now with the stuff I gave you, you know, to get what we got, that only scratched the surface. I'm telling you now. Woo. But now my philosophy is, you know, if you're gonna have your name on the front of the building, you got to know how to wash the dishes, mop the floor, clean the bathroom, do the marketing, do the books, run the register. Then you put your name up there. So that's why it's, you know, it's 7 steps, and that 7th step, oh my God, man, what? But leading up to that, right? So you got that knowledge of when that acquisitions team is, you know, not doing what they're supposed to, you know how to, you know, what it's supposed to run like, and that's a true business too. But I don't want to give this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And I mentioned that to Anita. I was like, Anita, it's like the pot. I think it was both of y'all. It's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, hit it, right? But I don't just take everybody on as a student in my mentorship just because they got money. I just don't. Because like Anita said, you know, she gave that lady that money for the food out front because, you know, a heart of service. And that's what we're about. We are service minded first. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, everybody can go do whatever they want to do. I'm not tripping about that. But us, the GoGetter family, that's what we do, right? That's what we do. And by doing right by others, then it comes back on us. It comes back on us. That's just the way it is. So what real quick, guys, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll pull them up. And if it's questions for the ladies, that's perfect. Questions for me, that's cool too. But real quick. I just want to. So the debt on this house versus the ARV. How much was the debt on this house, and then what is the ARV of this house?
About 85.5 with the ARV of 192.
Woo! I like how nonchalant she said that, because when she first called me and told me, she said it's super excited. She was like, "This thing got a debt of 85."
But you see my face is like, baby, do you see the profit margin in that thing right there?
Man, and they have to spend nothing.
Not a dime.
But it's not even always about just like spending money though, right? Because you expended energy. You expended resilience. That is something that we gotta, fill up. That's a gas tank, that resilience, and then Sheila top that thing off for you about the appointment. Sheila like, oh no, now we done ran into all these brick walls. Well, we know we can run straight through these things. So we're gonna run straight through this. And that's what we need sometimes, man. So that's why I like the duo, that y'all have. But this property, guys, it's got a debt of 85,000, paying the seller 2,500. That's 87.5. I think there's a lien for like 1,000, 88. So that's 88.5 with the ARV of 191 on the low end, guys. So this is what we can do. And now the options to sell this thing, nothing like that wholesaling that they was doing. And I've done wholesaling. I did traditional fix and flip. So I'm definitely not preaching from a soapbox. I'm preaching from experience too. I done hit these walls too. And if you haven't hit these walls, see the greats, the people that are great, they when they do business with somebody, one of the questions they ask is, tell me about some of your failures. Tell me about some of your failures. Because if you haven't failed, if you can't tell me about any failures, I don't think I'm going to work with you, because adversity is going to hit. It is. That's just a fact. Now, and I don't like to generalize anything, but I will say that is a fact. Adversity is going to hit. And if I don't know how you're going to react to adversity, well, why would I put the keys to my kingdom in your pocket, or vice versa? Why would you put the keys to your kingdom in my pocket? So the fact that, you guys were running into those issues, but you continue to get back up and keep going, I got to salute you. I got to salute you to the public. I've been talking y'all ladies up. So this is, y'all are here in the flesh. So let's see if we got a couple questions here. So, okay, we got something. Okay, Denton Chamura. Denton's in Michigan. He runs our private Facebook group. So after going through your first subject to deal, what part of the transaction did you two find was the hardest? Go ahead, Sheila. Start us off with that one.
Getting in touch with the homeowner for me. And I'm still running into that, like the 3 properties that I'm working on here in where I am. Getting the homeowner for one, and then getting through that part where they trust that you're not like everybody else has been sending all the stuff in the mail and knocking on their door and calling, harassing. That's the hard part for me. I don't know if Nita feels her doing all the running, but where I am, where the properties are. See, because where I am, everything that I need is going to be 30, 40, even an hour away, which is maybe a slight difference from St. Louis, because I know St. Louis like the back of my hand, but I'm in Washington. So I think that may be a little bit of an obstacle for me. So the only thing I can do is fill the tank up and get at it. But just getting the homeowners in touch with the homeowners and getting them to trust you. I would say that's for me has been the most difficult.
Well, go ahead, Anita.
Same for me, getting in contact with the homeowners, because this isn't a deal that's listed where you can contact the agent who can just pick up and contact the seller. You got to find these people. Once you get the address, now you got to say, okay, well, what is their phone number? And if you can't get a phone number, then you have to be prepared for a face-to-face. You have to go knock on the door.
And they may not even live there anymore. They, some people get those foreclosures and all, and they abandon the property. So now you got to hunt them down if you want to stick with that particular property.
Yeah.
And we hunt them down.
Hunt them down. They do. Absolutely. I'm talking about trying to see, okay, people get off at 5 p.m. I'm about to be there at 5:10. Waiting on the porch. On
I
the
will
porch.
find out who your cousin is, and I'll
Yes,
contact you through your cousin. I'll
I
find out
love
who
it.
your neighbor is. You know,
Mhm,
there's a
We've
way to
even
get in
got
contact.
real look. See these colors?
mhm,
They're not mean to be bright to you guys, but they're really bright. But if
mhm,
you come home and see this bright orange hanging on your front door,
mhm.
you're gonna look at it, you're gonna throw it away, you're gonna look at it. But I put one on the door today and I went down the street in cul-de-sac and came back. It was so bright. I thought to myself, should I go take that down? I'm like, nope, because if I seen it like that, they're gonna see it. So
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And that's part of that mentorship and scratching the surface, because we've got some unique ways that we use. Because I know from experience, man, like I'll see a house, see these numbers, see the debt, see when the auction date is, and I'm like, woo, I can't wait. Then I can't find them. I'm like, man, so we had to get some creative ways of doing that to kind of get people to come to us. One of my colleagues who has operated in St. Louis a little bit, he says go from the annoying pest to the invited guest.
That's
Right.
right.
So,
I
yes,
like
and we have a beautiful way of doing it. I love this stuff. I do. So,
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, I love this stuff so much for the viewers, since these ladies, we had conversated. They went through what they went through with the wholesaling and spent some money on the mentorship. So, my one-on-one mentorship, it is not cheap. My group coaching ain't cheap, but I mean it shouldn't be. These ladies just got a house, they could clear God knows what on it, right? To pay for the mentorship 6, 7, 8 times over. So they had got the course. They got the course and went to work on it. So what I'm doing, guys, is just for y'all, for these ladies, my subject to masterclass course, I'm gonna have that for 50% off. It's not gonna be that long that it's 50% off, because I don't like giving away stuff for cheap that's valuable. I already make it affordable. So 50% off. There's the coupon code. It's on the website, the GoGetterFamily.com. Y'all use that coupon code and you'll get that 50% off. That is for a limited time. So let me see. We got another question. Oh, somebody about this red tag list. Jeremiah Poole. Jeremiah Poole, where are you from? When you got a question, we like to know what part of the country people are in. So I got the same thing. They said they don't have a red tag list. I requested via email for tax foreclosure. Well, first off, the email, they get a million emails a day. Now, if you've been communicating with them people via email, cool, right? They might, email you back. But that tax foreclosure list, that's public record too, because there's going to be a tax auction. So you got to dig it up. I found one the other night, one of my students in New Jersey, and Middlesex, New Jersey, and these houses are $500,000, $600,000. We found a whole list of foreclosures, just me and him right here on a video call, kind of like this. So what you do is, I'm going to give you a tip now, because y'all been hanging with me, and I only see a couple likes up there. So if y'all don't hit this like button, that 50% code about to get deleted. Hit that like button. But anyway, this is what you do in your in Google, me and Anita's favorite website. Go in Google, and in the search box, put your county, right? Put the name of your county. So I'm in Sioux City, Iowa. It's Woodbury County. Woodbury County tax auction. That's it. Or Woodbury County sheriff's sale, and hit enter. Boom. Now it comes up different for wherever you're at, because they got different websites, for the county governments, but just follow the breadcrumbs. You're gonna have to read a little bit, and I'll give you another tip. Most of the time, you're not gonna click that first website that comes up, because those are the paid websites. They have paid to be at the top. So they make you think that you have to pay for these lists when they're not, you don't, they're free. So just go down and you'll see Woodbury County Sheriffs.org or .gov. Those are the sites that you want. And Jeremiah, you will find that tax foreclosure list really really easy too. Definitely really easy. So let me see. Any tips on cultivating that persistent mindset you three share? Go ahead, Sheila. What do you say on that? Then I want to hear from Anita too.
Well, for me, I've been independent and self-employed for so long.
Mhm.
Everything that I've ever done is based on my efforts. So you have to really know what you want to do for you. Everything about this it isn't about finding a house, getting the money. It's about what is it that you really want. And if this is what you really want, that mindset to make it, still make it a job. Because if you're working a 9 to 5, and this is something that I've also told agents that I've trained, if you're working a 9 to 5, when they say be there, you're going to be there. They say be there from 9 to 5, you're going to be there. You have to commit that kind of time to yourself. And the mindset is, if it's meant to be, it is up to me. So you literally have to get out there, and you have to stay on the phones. You have to stay looking. When you run into a roadblock, take a detour and start doing something else, because that right there has kind of maybe made you a little upset or got you off keister. Okay, well, start doing something else and then come back to it. So that persistent mindset and constantly, like with going out to the people's homes and calling the people. When you run out of phone numbers, if you want to do this because of the market that we're in, which is a foreclosure market, you got to go knock on those doors, And I have to commend my partner in St. Louis. I know St. Louis, but I'm not in St. Louis. And when I tell you, she has been knocking on these doors and park down the street and kind of wait. I'm not saying stalk anybody or anything, because we don't do that. But like today, we got 3 properties here. And today I was out in those 3 properties, and I had to take complete different directions to get to these properties. And I'm going to say it was more almost 2 hours of back and forth driving. But well, you think about it. If I drove for 2 hours and I do get this deal and I do get that money, I've made 40, 50, 100,000 on that property. Well, them 2 hours wasn't so bad.
Not too bad.
Working, you going
2 hours weren't so bad.
You can't make that money in 2 hours anywhere else. You can't clock in and make that type of money anywhere. And on top of the work ethic, it's also your mind. You have to believe it for yourself. You have to speak it into existence. I'm going to tell you something. What you think comes out of your mouth. And what comes out of your mouth goes into the universe. You got to be careful about what you think. You got to be careful about what you say. You have to be intentional with your words. Be intentional with your words. Me and Sheila are big. I'm like, hey, sometimes, we're not perfect. We'll say things and we'll get you I know you just say that. It has a little connotation of negativity, or not even negativity, a little connotation of second guessing. We don't allow that type of conversation to come out of our mouths at all. You got to change your mind in order to change your life.
For Denton, that could be a good one for Denton. Find you an accountability partner. Sometimes you don't want to trust people, but find you an accountability partner, somebody that can keep you. And if you're that person that's always by yourself, don't want to be around people, well, if you're not going to cultivate the kind of mindset where you are constantly telling yourself the positive instead of the negative, that could be a problem. So like sometimes, I know with last week with Anita being out there, I felt so bad, but every time she called me, it was positive. I'm listening. I'm staying on the phone, knowing she's driving 45 minutes to where she has to go. I'm constantly saying it. Like today, when I was when I was out there, she was doing the same thing for me, cheerleading for me, go ahead. So it's learning to speak, learning to stay constantly speaking either a positive or something that you want, not what's not. Don't talk about what's not happening. Talk about what is going to happen. What's your goal? Where are you going? What are you trying to do? Talk about that. Don't talk about what happened, what didn't happen, what ain't going to happen.
We don't say, we never use if. It's not if. When we ready to close on this deal, we're going to go sign these papers and get this done. We don't even know if we're going to get home. When you speak when, you win.
I love it.
Speak when you win. And those 2 different words, WHEN, WIN. When you speak when, you win. When I do this, when I get this, when I get that, and you win.
Oh, look at Sheila sounding like Jay-Z. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Hello.
You win. I love it. That's true. What? I've got my top 3 books, the Bible, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and Undefeated Mind by Dr. Alex Lickerman. And Napoleon Hill says that when we have a goal in mind, we have to burn our bridges behind us. So there is no retreat. There is no retreat. So there is no other option. I mean, you can't even think of another option. If this is what you want to do, if you want to be successful in real estate investing, there is nothing else. I mean, there ain't nothing else. So you would never say, well, if I'm not able to do this, I can always go do that. Right. Or well, if this one doesn't work, I heard about this e-commerce thing that's pretty good. No, there ain't no e-commerce thing. There ain't no if this doesn't work, there's that. There is only this. There is only there is no plan B. There isn't. So this is all or nothing. It's all or nothing. But guys, you can see from the results of these two ladies, right? And these two ladies are exceptional human beings. And I put the emphasis on exceptional because of thank you. I mean, honestly, because see, I'm the type of person where I appreciate good people. I do. I appreciate good people. I appreciate people who have resilience and show that, because not a lot of people are able to do that, especially with what you guys have been through. And I respect that, because I know like the outside stuff coming in, when things aren't working out, and just even the inside stuff, but you still got back up. And those are the things that led to this moment right here. If those things wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't. If you wouldn't have had those downs, right? Those mishaps, those missteps, we wouldn't be here right now, smiling, looking good, joking, glowing, right? Yeah. Getting ready to tell them where to park the Brinks truck at. Because we about to get paid. Right.
Like, so I like to say this.
Go ahead.
Keep pressing and keep going. Don't worry about the no's, because the yeses are going to pay you so well. Hurry up and get all the no's you can get, because the faster you get to the no's, there's a yes waiting for you. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's it. Just keep going. Just keep going. So I like this question here. This is from Colton. Colton's going to be on our deal desk too when we launch that, which will be here really soon, couple days type of situation. At what part of the conversation with the homeowner did you realize they were ready to sign the contract documents?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I do this.
Ooh,
so I don't ask. I just already anticipate it's getting ready to happen. So as I'm explaining it to you, I said, and I'll have you sign right here, and then I'll sign here. And I went through and I explained that thing. And I was like, okay, now that we got that part done. And I didn't ask them to sign. I just told them where they would sign at. It's no different like in the insurance industry. My clients. Yeah. I'm telling you, I will go out and I approach you in Walmart and give you my whole spiel. And I'll be like, okay, and what is your name? And then I'll be like, what is your phone number? And I'll just start looking down at my notebook with my pen, because I'm not wondering if you're going to give me your phone number. You're going to give me your phone number. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And then they'd be like 314, because that's our area code here. And they just blew off the whole number. They don't even know me. Right. So I didn't ask you for your signature. I just let you know what you'd be saying. You signed right here. Once I explain that thing, because first you have to know what you're talking about. Yeah. I didn't know that contract, but I took the time out between Jean's videos and I studied that contract. So when I had to explain that contract to my client, I knew what I needed to say. And then you'll sign right here, because people want to know that you know what you're talking about. And boom, what they do, got out. I handed them the pen and signed right here for me. And then you get what I'm saying? That's what I did. I didn't ask for a signature. I just let them know where they had to sign that once I explained the contract to them. And that was 6 different pages, not 6 different pages, 6 separate contracts going into this deal that they had to sign. And I got no pushback at all. They handed me their social security number. They didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't ask for it. I just, hey, what's your social? And they see I'm ready to write. They're not like, okay, no, they just riddled it. End of story.
Yeah. In this case, it's a little different, though. In this case, because you're facing people who they feel like all hope is gone, they've lost everything. If you have gotten through to them about what you came to do and what your plans are to help them, getting the paperwork done isn't the problem. The paperwork, they're ready to do the paperwork once they understood that you're sitting here telling me that you can help me save my house, or you can do something to keep my credit from being, whatever approach you take with them. Because, Anita and I can definitely say doing the contract process and the conversation with them is not different from the previous industry that we came from. You know, people don't want to buy insurance. You know what I'm saying? So when you get them to physically understand what the benefit to them is, and they see the benefit to them, signing the documents is just you go ahead and you start filling those documents out, because they're not going to stop you and say, if you ever get somebody to stop you from signing the documents to help them save their house, call me, I give you $100. I'm just saying, because, and this is what I used to tell my agents, if they stop you in the process, they really just asking for more information at that point. They want to know what else could happen. Because at that point, they're very apprehensive. Yes. They're scared. They're afraid. They've already given up. They've already started packing. And what are you saying? They just want to know. So if you make it to the point where you're signing, but they cannot see that you're afraid to do what you do. They cannot see that you don't know what you're doing. So Anita and I went over the contracts, and that's why I was laughing when she was talking about the contracts, because we were reading the contracts and Anita kept saying, and be quiet.
Be quiet on this.
I had to say it because your contract says that, but learn the contracts. If this is what you're going to do, learn the contracts before you go out. Don't go out stumbling and don't know how to fill out the contracts, because it helps a lot.
And the thing is, I want my people to win, man. So when I do put out something, of course, I'm not just throwing anything out there just because, hey, here, people got money, they gonna buy it. No, there's the instructions on there. Ask this question, and then in bold print, in parentheses, it says, be quiet.
Yeah.
After that question.
Your course is ABC 1, 2, 3. If I must say, it is ABC 1, 2, 3. If you get anything different than that, then I'm not quite sure, because Nita and I piggyback, and I was kind of like, Nita, what is it? She was like, go look at it. I'm like, Nita, what is it? So I finally went and, did what I was supposed to do. And I'm like, it's ABC 1, 2, 3. And she called me while I was on it. I'm like, girl, call me back. I'm doing,
Taking notes.
Yeah. So, my notes is thick as hell, but yeah, it's ABC 1, 2, 3.
And you guys have an opportunity of getting it at 50% off. We didn't have that opportunity. You have to invest in yourself. So if you can get this thing, go on and get this thing. You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Yeah, 7 steps of becoming the bank, baby. And we are the bank.
Yes.
There. All the contracts. Look at the contracts. Pre-fill learning notes. You have to physically learn this stuff. Like it's ABC 1, 2, 3. Jen, you did a great job. Like,
thank you.
I can't. I'm telling you, you did a great job. I know we know this stuff, and when it comes time for us to start this Washington market, which I think is going to be a little more difficult than the St. Louis market, I'm gonna need Anita. You're gonna need accountability. Somebody in your ear saying, just keep, So
well,
do the course. Do the course.
And when y'all just got that subject to masterclass, so that just, honestly, that just scratched the surface of how we negotiate, how we market to these people, even how we look for certain properties. Foreclosures is just one thing, but I love what you said there, because there are businesses out there where it's done for you is what they call it in the industry. It's done for you, so you just got to pay the money, but it damn sure ain't no $398 at 50% off. A done for you business, we talking $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Done for you. So if you want to do this, people tell me all the time, that's kind of why I guess I blew up on TikTok, because the way I explain it, I make it understandable. So I'm glad that I'm able to do that. But you do still have to put in some work. You got to put in the work. So I love that you got them contracts out like that, filled out, marked up, highlighted, all that, because that's how they're supposed to look. If you want to win, man, if you want to win, that's what you got to do. You gotta, but I have fun doing it. I do, because I see when you start to see it manifest, and you're just in your third eye, right, in your mind's eye, like you're like, okay, I got this part. All right, now I understand this thing. I wasn't understanding it. And you start to see it, that excitement should start to build. And that's why I wanted to bring y'all on, because you guys are living proof that anybody can do this, but not anybody can do this, because y'all aren't just anybody. Y'all, in my opinion, I'm telling you, I respect y'all because y'all went through hell, because I've been through hell. Y'all went through hell, and just a recent hell, but you kept getting back up. And I'm 99.9% of the population isn't going to do that. They are not. after what y'all had went through. They're just not going to do that. So that's why I've never partnered with somebody who, you know, Anita hit me. They didn't even have that limited power of attorney and information release form technically signed yet. But based off of what was transpiring and what I had heard, you know, from these two, I was like, all right, I'm in. I think they was going to get them signed that morning. I was like, all right, bet. Let's run this thing, you know? So I respect it. I do. We got another question here. How did you approach your first face-to-face? Angel Anderson. Angel, put where you're from for us so we know what state you're calling from. So in terms of approach, I think she means maybe how did you, well, let's answer it both ways, right? How did you kind of, you know, hype yourself up and, I mean, you know, get right, get in that zone. And then also, how did you approach it? Like, how did you go holler at her?
Well, to get myself hyped up is once I knew that I understood the contracts and what to say, it was my confidence that pulled me through on that. And face to face, I didn't go in just talking about the problem I was there to solve. You have to build rapport. People have to trust you and like you. You have to be likable. And so I didn't go in, hey, yeah, so let's just get straight to it about this house that you're about to lose. That's not how it works. You had a beautiful baby girl sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, who could walk in a room and see this beautiful baby and act like she doesn't exist? So, you know, people love their kids. You know what I'm saying? And people love, like with me, I have a daughter. As long as you love what I love the way that I love it, we got something to talk about. You get what I'm saying? Compliment her on how beautiful her home is. Oh my God, her hair is gorgeous. She's adorable. Yeah, and you know, build rapport. Let people know that you actually care. And then once we began to talk, I was like, okay, well, let's get down to business. What I want to talk about, and I started to pull from what I remember from Jean's script. Tell me a little bit more about what it's really been like dealing with this bank. And then I got quiet.
Be quiet.
To me, so be quiet.
You have to.
And let them kind of tell you their story so that you actually can have a conversation. Because other than these contracts, what do you have to talk about? So you got to let them tell you something about them so that you can actually have this conversation now. And that's what I did.
That's huge. And I always say that we cannot go in there assuming that we know what these people's problem is. And now we got the solution and we ain't even talked to them and found out what it is, you know? So I love that, how you use that line, you know? So tell me about how it's been dealing with your bank thus far. Cause we know that it's been hell, you know, it's been hell. And then to control it, you know, control that conversation based off of our research going in, when we hear something that piques our interest, oh, that's interesting. What do you mean by that? Right. Or tell me more about that. We're interested.
A little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's simple.
It's just all of those really simple things that are in Jean's course. If you purchase it, you'll know what to say in these trouble situations. So like that question there, that's going to be answered really in Jean's course. You'll figure out what to say. He's going to give you the words to say it. If you're not sure, he's going to give you the words to know, hey, if they say this, then you say that. If they say this, then you say that. You know, so that's pretty much how it happened for me. Yeah.
I want to differentiate real quick though. So you guys said what I had was kind of similar to, you know, the wholesaling, you know, just in terms of real estate stuff like that. But was it as artful? Were the questions, I guess, similar in nature in terms of the wholesaling situation versus this?
I'm gonna answer that.
Please do.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I will say, and like I said, we're going to keep it real minimum on what we say about that program. They didn't give us a step-by-step. And all that we accomplished in that program, Anita and I accomplished stumbling through it. We did okay. And, you know, but it wasn't until we got to that point where, you know, it went bad. But we didn't get the scripts, and we didn't get the do it this way, do it that way. We got, how can I put this lightly? We just got a couple of people we got a person who said it was more of a lecture type thing. So I can say and I'm trying, you know what, Jean, while we're trying to protect what.
Yeah, I don't want you to go into.
But what I can say about your program is, like I said, and I said it once, being an instructor for, in the industry that I was in prior to, you gave it to us the way that I teach. So for me, when I say ABC 1, 2, 3, when you literally get this script, and it wasn't by chance that it's just here, but when you literally get this script, read it, learn it, and people want to have a conversation. If you call a person to have a conversation and not stumbling over the words and stumbling over what you say, it comes a little more natural to them, and they know you're not the bank or somebody just trying to get into their business. It's having a simple conversation. And if you read the script, or even if you want to, make the script feel more comfortable for you, but because you may not use this exact 2 or 3 words that Gene used, I will say, change a word or two, but the script tells you what to say. Yeah. So they feel comfortable on that first call. Because if you don't get them on that first call, or your first encounter is like with Anita at the front door, they may not be ready to do business with you right then at the front door. People don't do business with your contract. They do business with you. So you have to get personable with that person immediately, as fast as you can. You want to get personable with them, not about their business, but who you are and what you came to do, what you offer. And Gene is real clear in not saying the wrong words about, we know you're losing your home, and saying those things is going to trigger them into not wanting to communicate with you. Yes. So that's what's key. And like I said, it all just plays. Just know, if you've never been in one of those situations where you gotta read a script or know the right wording, follow Gene's script, and it's really gonna give you what you need, because we've been doing the scripting thing for years. So we know you got to find a means that's going to sound right and make sense and not offend the person that you're talking to, because you're going to somebody about the house that they're losing. So,
yes, that's a big thing. That was a huge.
If you're worried about what you sound like, record yourself, and you'll hear yourself not sounding like you're having a conversation. You'll hear yourself sounding like a robot. Yes. Record yourself, and then you'll say to yourself, you'll be able to hear your tone and how you're talking. You'll be like, I need to kind of change that up a little bit. Or if it's a word that's not your normal word, change it up a little bit. Make it you, so that it is a conversation that flows for you.
Yeah, I think you had something in there, Gene, where you said something. I said it won't flow right for me because I don't ever say I must XXX. I changed it to I have to blah 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 blah. I mean, the smallest little tweaks. It doesn't need a lot of tweaking. Gene, you are a talker, so yours came across a little wordy to me, and I just took out a couple of words to make me feel comfortable saying some of the stuff. And I didn't change any of what you said. It's just how I say it, and I got comfortable. And then Anita and I, for a long time, we script and role play with one another, so we sound good. It's best to have a partner, because I could start talking to Anita about something, and we can start talking about how we're going to do like the face-to-face or something. And Anita will immediately go into what she's going to say. And I'm like, Anita, we trying to get ready, and you telling me what you're going to say, so it kind of comes natural to start figuring out how you're going to approach a person or have that conversation, if this is really what you want to do.
Yeah, and that delivery, that was a huge compliment too, coming from you, that I teach good, because I don't have a teaching background. I just kind of went off of what I felt would help me, would have helped me, right? So, and you're absolutely right. We are all individuals. We're all different people, and we act different, we talk different, we sound different. So you're supposed to, those are frameworks, and then there's certain little details that you got to do, but change up a few words so it does sound natural, come for you. That is but that shows also that you practice, you put in that work, man. I love that you put that work in. So Jeremiah, man, you still ain't put where you was from, Jeremiah. No, Lee, I'm just playing, man. But damn, put where you from, homie. I got you. So the 7 steps, I just be talking that. Hey, Sheila hit it on the head. She like, Gene, you a talker, so it's a little wordy. You and my fiance will hit it off. She be like, you shut up, but anyway. I'm just playing. So the 7 steps, these are the 7 steps, all right? The first step 1, is a new reality. It's a shift in mindset and awareness, right? You've got to have that mindset. We've been talking about this with these ladies tonight who have had success and who have the juice now, right? And then awareness, the awareness is the traditional versus the non-traditional, becoming the bank where we live, the side we live on. So we've got to have a new awareness of that. Step 2, it's establishing your playing field, understanding the power of the GoGetter Family's contracts. And Sheila pointed that out and pulled them contracts up right there, studying them, because the pen always has been and it always will be mightier than the sword. Always. Step 3, it is value-based negotiating. Yes, value-based though. So we're not, it's how you can negotiate in a way that is authentic, and as you can see from these ladies, gets results. Right. So we're not going in there saying, oh, your house is worth, oh, you got 85,000 in debt, an ARV of 191. This is what we can offer you. No. Tell me how it's been dealing with your bank up to this point. Right. This is how we negotiate, because the person who asks more questions in a negotiation always wins, because we are the ones gathering information. Right. And the more information that we have, the more ammunition that we have in this negotiation. So this is why we use value-based negotiating. We use interrogatives: who, what, where, when, why, how. We use upfront honesty, self-deprecating humor. This is all high-level skills, mirroring. So we're going to teach you that. Then step 4, one of my favorite things, and I kind of switched the order of these, so I don't know if it's the same in that 7 steps guidebook, but I mean, they're still in there. But step 4, it is finding prospect, always having a house to buy. We want no competition leads. So some of the places that we look and find these properties and then go talk to these people, they don't even know their house is for sale yet, because it's so early on. We've looked at certain factors of the circumstances, and we know that these people are going to be in distress. So if it's not for sale yet, cool. Based off of how we negotiated with them, value-based, they remember us. And that when it is for sale, they're calling us, because we weren't in there just trying to beat them down on the price. We were in there trying to find out what's going on, and what after what's going on, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? So they're going to remember that, because we want to help them. Step 5 is exit strategy. Yes, exit strategy. I like, oh, look at that, Sheila. Yes, yeah. Talk to me. Yeah. So exit strategies. It's how you make your money and scale your business, right? And we have to understand with the exit strategies that the same way that we can acquire a property, we can also sell it. Right. So when you have this understanding in your mind, when you see circumstances of a situation, you see the circumstances of a situation, you begin to structure that transaction in your mind. You're like, okay, I can take this one I can take it over using creative financing. And then on my exit strategy, I can use a lease option based off of the circumstances, because we put it together so well for you. And then step 6 is building your buyer's list, how to always have somebody to buy your property. And I remember the first time I talked to you ladies, and I got to talking, Coach Ivan was on there, and I asked you if you had a buyer's list, and y'all said no. And I said, well, here's one easy tip on how to get a free buyer's list. We do this organically, guys. I will never send anybody out there after getting my system to say, all right, go spend $1,000 to buy some leads, or go spend $1,000 to get a buyer's list, or $500, or even $100. No, we do all this stuff organically, and we got it. So getting that buyer's list, we nurture. It's relationship equity, right? We are not transactional. All right, here, I'll give you this for your house. You give me your house, I'll never see you again. No, it's relationship equity. So we will always have a relationship with these people, so that when they're talking about us to their people, hey, I know these guys over here at We Buy Houses and Help people that can definitely help you in this situation. These realtors that said this to you, this investor said that. Go talk to Gene over at We Buy and Help. He's got you, because he did it for me. Relationship equity, guys. And then step 7, it is building your team so that you can work on your business and not in it. And it's based off of systems, Jeremiah, because 95% of real estate investors fail. 95% fail. And, Sheila and Anita were kind of a testament to that number, that 95%, but they're not regular people either. So they kept pushing. They were going to fall into that 95%, but there was no other option for them. So it wasn't going to happen. It was just a matter of when. But when you get these systems together, even entrepreneurs, small businesses, most of them fail. So, and it's because the business depends on you. So you're just a glorified employee of your business. But I was telling somebody the other day, if I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and I buy a Big Mac at McDonald's, and then I fly to LA the next day and I buy a Big Mac, it's going to taste the same, smell the same, look the same. But it wasn't the dude in Cleveland that flew out to LA and made my Big Mac. It was the system. It was the system. So you just plug somebody into that system because the system runs a business. So those, Jeremiah, are the 7 steps to becoming the bank, man. Woo, I love it. I do. Because, ladies, how does it feel to be the bank?
It feels great.
Feels great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a good feeling. It is. So, guys, we will take one more question. Then I got to get up out of here. I got my group coaching at 9. I just had so much fun talking to these ladies. I stayed a little later. Let me see.
We always long-winded.
Y'all know I am. Man, y'all know I am already. So,
can I say something real quick? Based on your 7 steps and the question that was you asked before, how did it go? One of the things, and it just to piggyback, one of the things that what you just said was we were headed a specific way in a specific direction. Mm-hmm. Anita and I were so headstrong about getting through this and doing it, before we even came to you, till we found ourselves learning stuff on our own and trying to figure things out on our own and, stumbling into the success that we did have till that's what was getting frustrating. But then if I can say to anybody that's interested in your program, what we found with your program was the step-by-step method in which you do things makes a big difference. It really does make a big difference, because even on the times when we were going through doing the things that we had to do to get this particular property, when we called you, you would start with, did you guys do this? Okay, well, try it this way. Just those little bitty things. And it could be, something really, really small. Like we called, you sent me a text and said, get the title search. And, I'm searching, trying to get the title search. And then I called you and I said, hey, well, I've called 5 different title companies and And you was like, oh no, I got you one. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Those little bitty things that we did not have before, where you're so ready to say, do it this way, try this, call that person. That makes a big difference when it comes to your program versus what we dealt with and had to kind of transition to do our own things. No, it doesn't make any sense to be paying for something and you got to do everything on your own. And that's just not what's happening in your program. Your program is basically ABC 1, 2, 3. I can't even say it. And I don't even know how else to say it. Yeah.
Then if you out there going to get after it like y'all, I'm gonna team up with you. And I answer my phone. I answer text when you got
He does. He does.
Text,
and if you don't
emails,
answer,
phone
get
calls.
a text. Give me 5 minutes. I'll call you back. And Jean's
Yeah, because I see with my whole thing in life, grandma taught me this too, treat other people how I would want to be treated, even if they don't treat me that way. And I used to be like, if they don't treat me that way, personally treat me crazy, I'm gonna treat them crazy. That was when I was younger. Grandma was right. You know what I mean? Even if they don't treat me that way, I'm still gonna do it, so, and I see that from y'all too. So I don't mind doing it. I don't. So one more question, and then we're getting up out of here, y'all. What was your first step from scratch, ladies? So go ahead, Anita.
When you say what from scratch, I'm lost on what you asked. So
we'll say after you had got the course, right? You got the course and you felt good about it. What did you do? Because we got a house now. So you got the
my
course.
first step was find the house.
Yeah, to find the house. Because as soon as we got your course and we started going through the course, the first thing we did, we was on a call with you. I don't even think you knew we was on a call. We was on a call with you and you said, go to PropStream, go to the foreclosure list. Nita and I were both on the PropStream, on the foreclosure list. And that night we found 3 houses and we went with the one that we got because the other 2, I can't remember what. But that's what was it, that first night or the next day, Anita? Is when we went on. She went on PropStream. She
found it. And then once I found it, I started researching phone numbers. And when the phone numbers didn't work, I went to social media. And I actually found the person by finding their father who relayed the message to get me where. So, and I just sent a message on IG, like, what you have to lose, and time is of the essence, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
have time to sit here and twiddle our fingers and be like, should we or shouldn't we? The only thing they can
Right.
tell you is no. And so, like
Yep.
I said before, hurry up and get to the no so you can get to the yeses because they're out
Yeah.
there.
And
Absolutely.
I told you, Jean, Nita is the what do I keep calling you? The research queen. We could be looking at a house or looking at something, and I could be trying to find stuff in the title search and the taxes and the this and that. And Nita will be down 5 social media sites. Oh, I found the grandmother that was the auntie to the cousin. She was the nieces and she was the nephew, such and such. And I'm talking to her on the phone now, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, like how in the world did she find all?
Anita will find you somebody that know how to find somebody. And I told her, I said, the way you do that is going to build us a great acquisition team because she searches like nobody's business.
But that's because she not taking no for an answer.
Not taking no for an answer.
And it goes to that philosophy that I try to live by, and I tell people just like on my social medias, you know, if you have a goal and you see that somebody has accomplished that goal and you don't know how the hell, you like, man, it's kind of like magic. They did this. Well, damn it, they did it. So that means that you can do it. Right. So Anita goes about things the same way, as does Sheila. You know, it has been done. So damn it, it can be done. I can do it. I just got to find out how. So I'm going to find whoever I got to find out. And then I'm going to study that, do it. And I'm off to the races. So I wanted to end with this comment here by Nancy B. She says, thank you for sharing, Anita and Sheila. This is extremely inspiring and motivating. And
thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That was the purpose, man, of bringing y'all on. You know, I told you when I hit y'all up and asked y'all to come on the show, I was like, man, I ain't did a show in a week and a half or so. And I just thought about it that morning. I was like, this would be perfect because, you know, y'all are the regular people, man. We're all regular people, you know, and we all go through our struggles. We all go through our ups, our downs, you know, we have successes. We have, you know, I don't even like to use the word failure because I don't believe in failure. All right, it's just something that didn't work out the way that we thought it would. So we learned from that thing and kept moving. Yeah, we learned from it and kept moving. So now the next time we run into that thing, we know what not to do. Right now, y'all know, especially being GoGetter family members, I better not catch y'all on the MLS with a looking at somewhere listening with a realtor.
we wait on the fat lady to sing. What did I text you? We wait on the fat lady to sing. I said, fat lady sing, and I ain't heard fat lady singing. So
yeah,
you sent us that text. It was like, well, ladies, you trying to encourage us? So I'm like, is he thinking we backing out? I said, oh no.
Yeah, you're right. I sure did because we went hard because I think I told y'all. I might have told y'all at the beginning because I've been saying this to people. When it's that close, there was 8 days for that auction. That auction was 8 days away, and I said you got to be an expert to do this or have an expert with you to get it done that in that short of a time span. Just because I know what you got to go through with the bank. So I mean, we was getting after it, even to the point of when I had Anita have the seller ask for certain things from the bank. Then the bank clammed up then because they knew. Yeah, they knew that somebody, you know, something was going on because now this person, they can't, just berate them and try to get money out of them. This person is requesting things that they have a right to. So now the bank talking about we don't have the power of attorney on file for the daughter and the death certificate for the mom, so we can't talk to you. But we've been talking to you for the past year trying to get you to pay us. Huh? So we went through some stuff, y'all. We went through some stuff. If it wasn't
against the law to show stuff, I'm just gonna show you how thorough we are. What does that say? Name and address. I'm just saying. I mean, I can't really, but like Nita's got it. I mean, printing, like we're not playing. We're not playing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we got it all.
You saw that?
I'm gonna tell you guys, and I'll say this really quick.
Go ahead.
With this being foreclosures, a lot of these loans are not with the originator of the loan. They are with a different company. I had to go through the primary lender to get the information because she couldn't find it. You know, this is what they've been moving and shuffling papers. They're moving. So everything is in a disarray, shall I say. And I had to go through the primary lender to get them to send the information so that I can send it to the secondary lender where I had to put the full court press on to get her added to the account to even get to the place to stop the auction.
Yep. And this is the thing now. It was a puzzle. It was a puzzle to put together. It was. And Anita, now when she say the full court press, I play basketball, y'all. She put the press on. Now.
Press. Like, here's the thing. Nita was, I mean, and I know we're drawing this out, but I literally have to give my partner the props because I'm telling you, Nita was on the phone. She would call me. Now, see, we have a 2-hour time difference. It's 6 a.m. where I am when it's 8 a.m. when she is. 8:05, she's on the phone. When 8:32, she's calling me. It's 6:32 here. She's like, get up, because we're blah, 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 you know, and it's like, when I do this, I'm gonna need you to do that. So if a lot of times, because I couldn't be hands-on with this particular property, as soon as she shoot me something, text me something, I'm on it. But the thing about it is, I'm sitting here waiting for Nita to shoot me something. All right, I got him. I got him on the phone. And when I tell you she pressed for this one like nobody's business, I couldn't wait for the time for me to physically do this or do that because
you said that.
Okay, she gives, and I'm not just, this is my baby. I mean, this is my little sister, but she's my little sister. But she gives a whole new meaning. I spent 10 years in the military, but she gives a whole new meaning to boots on the ground. Like,
she do.
For real.
She do. And
a whole new meaning.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying, and I hope don't nobody take that as though it would be a difficult thing to do, but we only had so many days. So when she's out there and she's like, all right, at night, we would call and say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The next morning, she up going, and I might be calling somebody or emailing or doing whatever. But in situations like this where the crunch is so tight, you probably will need a partner. You probably will need that somebody to do some extra stuff. So because if I wasn't involved in this, Nita would have had to make 1 billion phone calls, run boots on the ground downtown, back to Clayton. I mean, because it's Clayton and downtown where we had to do a lot of running and stuff. So I guess that would be advice to somebody, where I am now, it's probably going to be me to Seattle, and I'm almost an hour from Seattle. So I'm going to need Anita to do all of those phone calls, do all of those things while I'm driving an hour away and an hour back. And you never know where they will send me, because she would get in the car and slam that door from the St. Louis city over to Clayton. Like, I cannot believe, So you may need a partner or that second person in the situation, because we just needed each other really bad, And I do I believe my partner could have got this done without me? Probably, because she wasn't playing with nobody, but it's easier.
I'd have been pulling out everything, because it really came into play with having a partner. Now, I will say this, now that we have gone through this process this one time and we get the gist of it, it will get easier. But out the gate for the first time, I'm so glad to have had Sheila, not just even to be able to phone calls, but even to have that person to talk to, because this isn't something you just want to talk about to anybody. First of all, they don't want to hear it anyway.
They
Most
sure
folks
don't
want to hear this. Like, they don't understand it, they don't get it, and they really don't care. So I even personally just told Sheila less than a week ago, I really appreciate us being in business together, because having somebody to even talk to about it that's just as excited as I am.
Yeah, that's huge. It is. And that's why it's the GoGetter family. I mean, it is, right? I mean, that I feel like it was damn near divine, because that name was bestowed on me, and then I threw the family on there because I knew exactly what y'all are talking about. I'm excited to talk about this stuff, but don't nobody want to hear this shit.
Yeah, that's true. Because I was trying to talk to my sister. She's looking at me and she asked me 5 times. Like, forget it. I get on the phone with Nita.
Like, man, you don't even know what you talking a foreign language. You don't know nothing about no subject to and the mortgage and reinstating and all this. But that's why we've got that private Facebook group. We got the private Facebook group. So you guys can partner up with each other. Like Anita and Sheila just said, you will probably need somebody. There's a lot to this at times, right? The payoff is great. The payoff, the reward, it is amazing. The work, there's a lot. There's a lot, but shit, there should be a lot. You're getting a free house. You know what I mean? Like, you getting a free house. So you should have to work for it. But you know, we got that private Facebook group. So guys, you can get on that Facebook group. Hey, I've been prospecting. I got this prospect over here. Anybody got any advice? Does anybody want to JV with me? In that Facebook group, you can throw that up there. We're about to open a deal desk, so you'll have the leadership team of the GoGetter family in our acquisitions. You know, so guys, it is absolutely there for the taking. It is. And ladies, you provided a lot of inspiration, and you know, you showed that that it could be done, right? Anybody can do this. So I'm proud of y'all. And I want to say one more thing. Now, Anita goes super hard, but when I said, Anita, ask your seller if she did this, and she asked her, and she was like, nope. I was like, all right, tell the bank we want to request this, and we ain't got to pay that $34,000 in back payments. Hey, she got even more excited. So yeah, the house had $34,000 in back payments, y'all. So usually you got to pay that to at least catch up the mortgage and take that mortgage over and start making those mortgage payments. Well, guess what? When you got an expert on the team, we ain't have to pay that. And we don't got to pay that mortgage for about 18 months. You know what I mean? So you can like the ladies are doing now, weigh in their options to get that thing sold. Weigh them options. You got options. You give yourself options. Well, damn it, you got options. I love it. I do.
One other thing before we go.
Go ahead.
And I have to say this because me and Anita back and forth with this one. We were a couple of the little obstacles we ran into was we went in and got just the information we needed that was on the documents and stuff, but found out we needed more stuff. So you know, me and Anita was like, get copies of the birth certificates, copies of the driver's license, extra phone numbers of people in the house, because that was one of our other issues too. Our homeowner, well, the lady who still owned her, young lady who still owned her mom's house, Anita was having a hard time getting in touch with her, but grandma lived in the house. So we ended up, you know, having to get extra phone numbers. You know, I was like, Nita, because Nita was fussing, like, man, she just won't communicate. Sometimes the buyers have a lot of other stuff going on, or you never know. Personally, they may not want to communicate, or they may be feeling a certain way. And then we found out a whole week after the lady was taking a long time to communicate with Anita back. She had a night job and she was sleeping all day, because it's like every time I go to her house and knock on her door in the freezing rain, she sleep. I said, well, she young. She just didn't know to say, ma'am, I'm because she don't know how important this is, and she don't know how much leg work Anita was doing. So we both decided from this point on, and I created this sheet. It's like everything we could think we need from you, give it to us now on this very first or the second visit. So we're not running to your house for the driver's license. We're not running to your house for few extra phone numbers to get in touch with you, stuff like that. I mean, it was just that kind of stuff.
That's exactly what I was doing, even all the way down to getting to her house, and oh my gosh, she still got morning breath and sleep in her eyes. Hey, go get yourself cleaned up. I'm getting ready to go grab breakfast.
Get breakfast.
Back. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's a great tip. Yeah, that's a great tip. That is a great tip. And it's one of those 2 millimeter shifts. One of those 2 millimeter shifts. You know what? When I get to the point of this person knows that I'm on the same side of the table and that we going to the same goal line. Hey, let me get the copy of your driver's license now. Let me get your boyfriend's number too, so that if you're not available, I can call him and we can get this thing straightened out. So that way I'm not driving back and forth. Time I could be dealing with the bank to handle this for you. That is a great tip. Great tip. So that's what it is meant to be. Anything, right? When you get a system or new knowledge, you add what your experience is to that to make it better. I mean, that's what I did with the 7 steps to becoming the bank. The 7 steps are mine, but the knowledge and stuff in there isn't originally mine. And then I added my twist to it. Just like Sheila just said, she made that document with the things that she feel like they need to not have to do all that running. That's what we do, y'all. But that comes from wanting it and just having to have it. There ain't even no other situation. It is have to have this. So, ladies, it was definitely a pleasure to have y'all on. I can't wait to get y'all in the mentorship. I got some big plans for y'all don't even know about yet. So, you know, hey, I've been planning, right? So so it was good, guys. I appreciate it. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Making it through the fire. So we're out of here. Guys, don't forget, if we brought you some value tonight, to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. And also the subject 2 course, it's 50% off. Use that code TGGF50 at thegogetterfamily.com. Also, these ladies said they found this property on PropStream. I put the link for the 7-day free trial of PropStream in the description. That is your best investment tool as a real estate investor. Am I lying, Anita? That thing.
It is,
Not
definitely
at
is.
all. That's how I found the property. It was
And we
love
won. Anita, we won. Didn't we?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Y'all won that 1 year free subscription. So hey,
Yeah.
hey, you doing major things. You out here making thousands of dollars and hey. I love it. I do,
Thank
man.
you, Gene. Appreciate
Yes.
it.
Y'all, thank y'all. So I'll be talking to you ladies soon. You guys, thank you for tuning in tonight, asking these questions. We do appreciate y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the Facebook group teaming up. Let's get to it. So Anita and Sheila, I'll talk to you guys soon. It was a pleasure having you, though.
All righty.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
I'm